Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Live from Florida, Plantation, Florida. A new place, Plantation, Florida. This is where my son, my bchar, Aaron, lives. He bought a brand new house. We came to check it out, my wife and I, and Yoel, my son. Here we are. It's about almost midnight here. In just a few hours, I'm getting up and going to the airport. Early flight back to Chicago. I should be landing in Chicago before 9 o'clock already. Be'ezer Hashem. Shabbos in Chicago, Sunday off to Brazil. Very difficult schedule, but there are things that need to be done for MDY, and we have big plans this year, and a lot of stuff that we need to do and take care of. And Be'ezer Hashem, things are in motion. So yesterday, I'll talk more about it, but just the one part of it. So yesterday, I met a bunch of people for MDY and to bring MDY to the next step. And one of the stops, a big stop, was by Chaim Levy's house. He's the guy that I met in Austria just a month ago, and I told him about the shir, and he got hooked into the shir, and he really wanted me to say shir in his house. He connected with me on a different level because he also built a very similar type style, 12,000 square foot home. And he says, I watched your podcast and you said that you felt empty. And right after that, we moved to Eretz Yisrael. He says, I also feel empty. So I told him, you got to join the shir. And Baruch Hashem, he did that night. 1 o'clock in the morning, he was there. It was the 1 o'clock in the morning shir because it was Motzi Shabbos in Austria. And he kept on watching the shir. He was in touch with us, said, I'm not missing a daf. And so we went to his house. So it's very matzliach, very, very nice matzah. Beautiful. The guy from Evergreen came. First of all, he was into the shir. What he made but probably one of the top steaks I've ever had in my life. He was giving out pieces of meat. I have a video, I can show it later. Then his brother-in-law, I guess he's very, very famous. Top in the world. Bemis, beautiful voice, beautiful grammar on the spot. His name is Moti Ilowitz. Here's just a little bit of the wines, the meat, the sushi, the keyboard, this beautiful voice and singing the great nigunim that MDY loves, Hashivenu, and all this stuff. But anyways, here it is, the grammar.
Explain to me. Then came Reb Eli Stefansky with his unique mahalach and voice. He is teaching us how to be Mekayim Lishmoy Velasois. Tired Reb Eli, you deserve the covet.
Okay, there's a sample. More for tomorrow. This guy, he actually brought me to tears. And he gave me a new mahalach, a new reason why. Every single time I read an email, I get a video of how the shir changed his life. Why does it touch me? I heard it 1,000 times. There's certain things that, people come over to, they recognize me in an airport, in a restaurant. It's like, okay, it's not so exciting. But when you get an email where a guy says, it changed my life, and he tells you why, it touches my heart. There's a new pshat here. I'll tell you after you hear. It's in Hebrew. So I hope you understand Hebrew. I'll try to help out a little bit.
אני רוצה לשתף אתכם משהו.
ו-50 חתיכות של כשר.
אני שנים לא נגעתי בדף גימורה.
For years I haven't touched the Gemara.
לא אהבתי, לא...
I didn't love it. I didn't like
למדתי,
it.
גם כשפתחתי גימורה בשנים האחרונות, זה היה כי ניסיתי...
I opened it up once in a while to try. I wanted to.
לא אהבתי את זה. תקשיבו. הייתי שומע מלא פודקאסטים בדרכים, מוזיקה, כל סגנונות של המוזיקה.
I listened to a lot of podcast music on the way.
יש לי חבר שאמר לי, אני אשתיק את זה קצת, יש לי חבר, הרב איציק ליבוביץ' שאמר לי, תשמע, דף היומי, הייתי רואה אותו תמיד בסטטוסים שלו.
איציק ליבוביץ' always puts on the status.
לא יודע איפה הוא, כל המקומות המוזרים האלה, תמיד ככה עם הטלפון רואה את היומי. ולומד את הדף היומי. וואלה, התחלתי.
So I started.
פעם שאני בדרכים, אין פודקאסטים, אין כלום.
I don't listen to podcasts. I don't listen to podcasts anymore.
הוא חברוסה.
Oh,
וללמוד גימור עם חברוסה זה אחרת.
you hear what he said? I'm a chavrusa.
זה מה אנחנו
I'm a
לומדים.
friend.
של 10 קילו, אז הוא מצטרף ביחד בבשר הקשר.
חי, גשמק, תודה רבלת, תודה.
Nayib Pshat. What's Pshat? He's a friend. When a friend tells you, he writes you an email, says, hey, you changed my life. A chavrusa tells you, I didn't open up a Gemara in years, and because you, it's different, it touches your heart. It's a chavrusa, it's a friend. That's the Vart. Camp Landau and Bet Shemesh, 3 boys that come to the English here every morning.
Good morning, Camp Landau.
Yeah, shmaka place. So yesterday we showed Lipa Schmelz's son. What happened was, I called out Lipa like a year ago. I said, Lipa, like live, like could somebody get him to do the share? His own son saw it, and his son said, you know what, I want to start with the share. And his son is with us for over a year. He's finished many Masechtas with us, and that was what I showed. So Lipa says, wow, I have nachas. Maybe I should taka start. It'll happen sooner or later.
Rebelli Nachat Tzadik I saw by Shiner wants to say hello to you.
Always. Keep on shining your light.
Shkoyach.
Lipa, when are you going to start doing the daf, Lipa? We need you. Give a kick. Well, it's spicy. I don't see spicy. I guess it is. Heartwarming. This Bach is sitting and learning with MDY so sincerely and taking notes. Mika Amcha Yisrael.
I want you to see something. Take a look at this guy over here.
This we learned that in order to do kmitza, you have to do with your right hand. Okay. Regular chalitza. Oh, chalitza. What's chalitza? Chalitza is if you have 2 brothers and one of them got married and died without children. So typically,
Give Valdik. This is in Kiryat Ata. Rabbi said, don't forget, we have 37 locations. Go visit them. If you're in Eretz Yisrael, go visit a location. Be mechazik. Shila Dorf, Lamed Daf Yomi, B'tzafon, Czechia. In Czechia. Let me just see what we have here. Oh. I want to show you something interesting because I am in my son's house, and the folding table that I bought them, I guess they didn't like it. So they just left it in their old house. So I didn't have a table. I don't want to sit in the dining room and wake everybody up. They're all sleeping. So I'll show you what I'm sitting on right now. My Gemara is on a high chair. And I found this in a closet. This my computer is here, the screen, it's a whole matzav. And I needed my suitcase. It's gewaldic. Not as good as the one in this tiny little room that you rent in the airport in Switzerland, I think. I once sat in this little tiny, I was sitting on the suitcase, it was gewaldic. That was a different story. This is a little bit more comfortable, but still using the beds, using a high chair, it's gewaldic. Rabbi Yisai, official edition, MDY Shas, Yishkoyach Meyer for coming yesterday to Muncie, all the way to Muncie to be mechazik. It was a tremendous chizuk, the Masechta. And he tells me today, Meyer said that he gave 2 Gemaras to 2 different people, and they both said, wow, what a geschmack, they're going to start doing the daf. 1 year at a time. Pashat, 1 year at a time, and we're going to get to crazy, we're at crazy numbers. We're going to get to numbers you're not even going to imagine. 400,000 is the goal, right? Masechta, Zevin Yal Shulov, Perik Shvi, dedicated to by the Benedict family. Daf Tzadik Ches, Yitzchok Yagod, Brocha V'Atzlocha to all. Shekoyach. David Salomon dedicated memory the Masechta. Dedicated memory of Avimori Shmuel Baruch Ben Reb Chaim Tzidoi Zichron Livrocha. E-Copier, the only corporate sponsor that we have. But yesterday in Muncie, somebody said that he wants to be a corporate sponsor, maybe even twice. So we shall see. Be'ezer Hashem. The Palestinian Family Foundation, may our leave it at Torah during the Ben Azman and bring us closer to Yimei Geula B'Simcha. Yishkoyach, Rabbi Palachik, for coming out to Monsey Taka. Became friends with Chaim Levi, more of a modern guy, with a Hasidic guy. They connected in Austria. Givaldig. It was great to see him. Anonymous. And thank you to Chief Benny. Anonymous for complete refuah shleima and arichas yom to Leah Bas Esther, Chaim and Leah Levi in honor of the MDY family. So yesterday, Chaim at his house, he extended his $6,000 a month donation to 12 months. Yishur Koyach Gadol Ma'oid, and he's trying to get his chaverim to be mishtatev, and it's a beautiful thing. Thank you very much for being a part of it. It's only a month. Can you imagine what a year is going to do? Can you imagine what full shas is? Anonymous for my birthday and as a schus for that slocha of my family, Baruch Migashmi. Shmili and Fegi Konig in honor of Chaim Levi hosting MDY. Well, that slocha b'chol yonim Yishur Koyach Shmili. The Tzvi's, Refuah Shleima to Rivka, Naomi, Basel, Shavabatio, the Monte MDY firefighters, the Nishmas, our unforgettable Chief Chaim Gabriel, Ben Arya Yoel Jacobson, Zechrona Levracha, Arya Simon, Refuah Shleima, Avi Mori Baruch Ben Miriam, MDY Kids sponsor monthly conventions of the Sea as a Schus Vakiv Simcha Ben Fega, Rivka Yudis Bas Yafachaya, and our kids too, Amen. Daily sponsors Aaron Koth, the Nishmas, Chaim Yaakov Ben Aaron Olav Shalom, Nidvas Moshe Eliyahu Ben Moshe Jack, the Mishpachtoi, the Nishmas Moshe Ben Eliyahu, whose yard side is Gimel Tammuz. Mordechai Zapazik and this Zapazik family, the Nishmas, Rabbi Yeshua Ben Rabbi Chiel Michal Zapazik, Zechron Levracha, the Nishmas, Mark Ashkenazi's father, Rabbi Chaim Ben Rabbi Elazar, Zechron Levracha, whose yard side was last night. Shari and Adam Kaufman in memory of Shari's father, Erwin Hames, yard side is today. MDYR Day, Stephen Stern in memory of Julius Stern, Yaakov Ben Shlomo, and the month, L'Refuah Shleima Mordechai Ben Esther, L'Refuah Hayela Daniel Zev Ben Ayelet Esther. Rabbi Isai, we're holding 4 lines from the bottom of Daf Tzadik Zayin of the Beis. I want to remind the Olam that before we started Chullin had a name that it's one of the hardest Masechtas in Shas. I'll remind you that it's one of the easiest Masechtas in Shas. And yes, we have some dapim that are, I'm not going to call them difficult, but some of the ideas and the concepts are a little less agadata. But the whole last week, every daf, we had a half daf agadata, half inyanim, half daf this. We're basically finishing up a sugya. We have like 3 daf of Isser v'Heter, of Bato B'Shishim, Nois and Tam, but it's easy stuff. It's nothing to get excited about. So, Beitza b'shishim ve'im beitza min haminyan. You have an egg. So we're talking about bittul b'roiv. You have one egg that's a no gooder egg, and you have 60 good eggs. So they overcome the bad egg, and therefore you're allowed to eat the whole thing. Well, we're going to see a fascinating thing in the sugya later on. Is that when it comes to eggs are different than everything else. Comes to eggs, you might need 61 eggs to 1 bad egg. 61 good eggs to 1 bad egg. Why is an egg different? We'll see. What's going on here? You have an egg, like in this picture. Why do you need 60 good eggs to overcome that 1 egg? Because the egg imparts a flavor, comes out. Whatever's inside the egg is going to come out. Now we know when you make a chullin and you put an egg in the chullin, the egg receives a flavor. It receives the color. It turns brown. It might, I don't know, I never really tasted chullin in it, but it receives. But who says that it goes out from the egg, from the treif egg, out into the other eggs? There's a saying, a famous saying. If you want to tell your wife that her chont is terrible, that her soup is nothing, what are you going to tell her? You say, your soup tastes like egg water. Meaning, if you cooked a bunch of eggs and there's water, there's nothing, no flavor in that water. Your food is so bad, it's like egg water. That's the saying people say. So once a chazan, he comes home, He's all depressed. His wife says, why are you so depressed? He says, you're not going to believe it. The cleaner in the shul, he said, you know, you have a terrible, terrible voice. It's a mamish, a terrible voice. So his wife says, what do you care about the cleaner? The cleaner's nothing. He's a cleaner. He just says over what he hears from other people in the shul. He's a nothing. Oh. People say, it's come to think of it, I think that might be one of our biggest problems, period. That we care about what other people say. We operate, you should care a little bit, but you operate based on what other people say. How many times have I heard that people say, I can't do this and this because it's going to shut the shidduchim. It's going to, people are going to say, people are going to judge me, and they're going to do. If it's the right thing to do, you do it. If it's not the right thing, you don't do it. I'm going to daven like this and like this because Ploini is looking at me. I think it's a society that cares so much about what other people say. I'm going to build a house like this so people will say this and that. I'm going to drive this and this so people say that. Forget about the other person. Last night, I'll give you a marshal. Last night, we were going to Ma'ariv at 1 o'clock in the morning, after 1 o'clock. It was a late night. I got to the hotel at 3 in the morning, I think it was, something like that. 1 in the morning, we're going to Ma'ariv. I think it was 1. Maybe it was later. 1:30. Oh yeah, it was 1:35. Yeah, that's what it was. Mark is going to tell me exactly. 1:35. 1:35 a.m. Ma'ariv. Yossi Klein says, "Listen, I don't know what to do. I don't have a hat and jacket, and if somebody sees me there, I don't think myself, but you're going to daven. What are the choices right now? To go home? You're not going to go home. Come back at 2:30. It's 1:35. So let's chop a Ma'ariv and forget it. I also didn't have my hat. Okay, so you daven and finished. Sure enough, we go daven there. And after davening, a guy comes and chepas him. I heard this guy tell Yossi 2 or 3 times, "Was kommst du una rekel?" And then he comes back again, 10 minutes later. Una rekel. All I want to do is I want to daven. I want to say Baruchi. I want to daven Shmona Esrei b'tzibur b'minyan. I just came from a place. I didn't have my hat and jacket. I came from a place without it. What are you hacking? Without a jacket. The rekel is without a jacket. Yeah. The point is, that's all we care about. The ploini almoini. This guy's wearing a rekel not because he feels that he has to wear a jacket while he's davening, because he doesn't want the other guy to tell him why he's not wearing a jacket. And that's the problem. It's good to wear a jacket. It's good to wear the hat and the halacha. You have to wear 2 coverings, the whole thing. Great. Standing in front of the king. But why am I wearing it? Am I wearing it because I'm standing in front of the king? Or I'm wearing it because I don't want Ruvain to kick my kids out of school. I don't want Ruvain to say I'm a bad guy. That's V'amri Inchi. People say, who cares? That's what I'm saying. Who cares about the people? We're talking about an egg that has a little chicken inside. Oh, check this out. Check this out. This is not AI. This is real. Okay. So since it has a little chicken inside, that little chicken is an avela. You can't check it. It's not checked, so it's an avela. It imparts flavor. The meat does impart flavor. Yeah, you're right. People say that eggs don't impart flavor. They don't. But if the egg has a little chicken inside, and that little chicken is an avela, that meat gives flavor to the rest of the tafshel, and now I have to be mevatel with 60. Avol tmei eloi. But what about an egg that comes from a eagle, a tomei bird? No. In other words, if the egg is that of an eagle without a little eagle inside of it, just an egg, If you cooked tahar eggs from a chicken together with eggs from a eagle, if the tummy eggs give off a flavor, the whole batch is also. So you see that eggs of a tummy bird do give off a flavor even without a chicken inside, without a bird inside. You're talking about an eagle egg that has a baby eagle in it, and that's why it's also. By the way, when you do shiluach hakan, so you have to be careful that the eggs that the mother is sitting on don't have an efrayach yet. It's in the early stages. You put a flashlight, check it. Either it's a complete chick that was born, then you can do shiluach hakan, or an egg that's not developed yet. That's what I think they say la halacha. So why do you call it a tummy egg if it has a little bird inside it? We're not talking about an eagle with a baby eagle inside. We're talking about a chicken egg, and it has a chicken inside it. And it's called tummy because it has a chicken inside, and a dead baby chicken is tummy, is an avela. As the Gemara doesn't fit in, it says right away in the Seifa, it says in the end, this case, that if you cook eggs and you find a chick inside of one, so now we're talking about a case that you found a chick inside. Before you weren't talking about that case. Yes, if it gives a flavor, it's also. So if in the Seifa we came up with a new case of an egg that has a little chicken inside, obviously the first case is not talking about an egg that has a chicken inside. So why did you tell me it's talking about a case that has a chicken inside? Says Gemara, both cases are one and the same. There's no Reisha in Seifa. The Seifa is just a continuation of the Reisha to explain what the Reisha is. It's coming to explain. If you cook the tar eggs with the tmeim eggs, if the tummy eggs impart flavor, the whole batch is also. What's the case? You cook them, you open one up, and you're mortified and horrified. You found a little cooked chicken, tiny little chicken, disgusting. So that makes the entire batch treif. And it also makes sense because if you think that the Reish is talking about that there's no chicken side, it's talking about a tummy bird, let's say. So what's the chiddush? If a chicken, if a egg without a chicken side is tummy, from a tummy bird, so certainly an egg that has a developed chicken side and is dead, it's the nevela, of course, it ruins the food. No, that's not a great raya. The save is only coming to explain the reisha. You shouldn't say that the reisha is talking about that it has a little chicken inside, but if it doesn't have, then even an egg of an eagle would be mutter. That's why I do say in the sefer it has a chicken. So I can say that the pshat, there's no way to force me in the pshat. If there's no way to force me in the pshat, I don't have a right from here. So I can say that it's just coming to say maybe this type of water from Florida doesn't work. Don't say that we're talking about in the reisha just an egg from an eagle that doesn't have a little chicken inside. I'm sorry, the reisha is boifrech, it has a little chick. But if it's a tummy egg that doesn't have a little chick, it will be mutter. On a seifa, that's why it does say in the seifa that is boifrech, that it has a little chick. So don't tell me the Reisha has a chick. No, the Reisha does not have a chick. And even so, it is Asur. Zogt the Gemara. Story. Ahu kizeiso tarbo the nofal bidikula de bisra. Let me just make sure. Here, we can use from yesterday, which I didn't show in the English here. You have a piece of fat. Here's a piece of fat that fell into. This was just yesterday shared that you use the pot to make it 60. Okay. But it's kishmak anyways. Ahu kizeiso the tarbo. There's a kazayis of fat. The nofal bidikula de bisra fell into a pot of meat, like you see in this picture. So Ravasi wanted to use the 60 times the fat. And he wanted to also include what went into the walls of the pot. In other words, how big is this piece of fat? 1 zayis. Okay. Now, we started off in the pot with 60 kazesim of meat and gravy and everything. But 5 kazesim went into the walls of the pot. 5 out of the 60 went into the walls. So how many kazesim do you have left in the pot? 55. 55 kazesim is not enough to overcome that one piece of chaylev, of terrible osur fat that fell into the pot. You need 60. Oh, but if I use the 5 that are in the walls, that were absorbed in the walls, then I'll have 60. So Ravasi wanted to say I can use those 5. So Ravasi sure b'may the bala dikula. Amrli Rabbanon Ravashi. So Rabbanon said it's Ravashi. Or to the terbala, the surli bala. What about the actual piece of chaylev that's a kazayis now that fell into the pot? Wasn't it like 2 kazayis when it fell in? It also cooked up in there, and part of it went into the walls. So the issue is much greater. Maybe you need 110 or 120 kazayis. Why? Because the chaylev that fell in was 2 kazayis. Right now you found 1 kazayis because it cooked out. So Elamai, we're not going to go what you used to have kosher before, because then you have to say what you used to have osur before. Let's look at what we have right now. Right now you have 55 kazaysim kosher, 1 kazayis not kosher. You don't have enough kazaysim to overcome the non-kosher. Forget about what happened yesterday and how much went into the walls. That's what they told him. Only a half a shear fell into the pot. We know that in order for it to be osur in the l'chayra, right now, you need a full kazayis. Only half a kazayis went in. The rabbanon would be a problem. Into a pot of meat. Mar Baravashi, Mar, the son of Ravashi. The sheir, we had him yesterday. The sheir betlosim palgid zeisa. He wanted to use half of what you typically use. Usually, if you had a half a kazayis that fell in, you need 60 times that. So how many kazaysim you need? You need 60 half kazaysim, or 30 full kazaysim, for 1/2 of a kazayis of chaylev. You have 1 part iser, you need 60 parts mutter to overcome it. So you have a half a kazayis, you need 60 half kazaysim. But he wanted to use 30 half kazaysim. He wanted to be makel. So he says, half the regular amount. Ravashi was upset. Didn't I tell you Didn't I tell you not to put down the Rabbanon and say, oh, it's only the Rabbanon. You don't need 60, 30 is enough. It's not nice. If you say 60 you need for the right, so you need 60 for the Rabbanon. The Bris Shalom just says an interesting thing. He says, there's a famous story in Brachos, where Abaya, when he would bench, he would say, Baruch atah Hashem, boinei beracham, I say boinei Yerushalayim, and he'd say, Amen. He'd scream it loud. Why would he scream loud? So that the workers would hear him say, Amen, and they would understand that benching is over right there and then. So that if you're benching and you're a worker, you shouldn't be mechayiv your balabas, you shouldn't be benching on his cheshbon. Yeah, you have to be careful when you work for other people, not to be on your phone, texting, etc. Even benching, you're not allowed to bench more than necessary. Only bench half, because that's the doiraisa. The rest, hatoiv ha'meitiv, the next bracha is the rabbanon. So Rav Ashi was upset. He said, people are going to come to be mizalzel in the rabbanon. Oh, it's only the rabbanon. No, the rabbanon you also have to bench. Why are you screaming on me? He says, this is the same Rav Ashi that I lavamina loch. Didn't I tell you in that story with Abaya? Like tezaz b'shur the rabbanon. I said back then in brachas, 2,300 days ago, in brachas, I told you that you shouldn't put down the rabbanon when it comes to benching. I'm the same Rav Ashi. Don't put down the rabbanons. And another thing, you're thinking that a half a kazayis is a derabbanon, and I'm telling you a half a kazayis is the iraisa, according to Rabbi Yochanan. Why? Because it's a half a shir, a half a iser. Half a kazayis of chelev is the iraisa, is the iraisa. Zog the Gemara. Omer Rav Shemen bar Abba, Omer Rav Idi bar Gershon. I love this. It's great for Magid Yishurim. It's terrible for people that are taking these tests bal peh. Omer Rav Shemen bar Abba. Rav Shemen, the son of Rav Abba, said, Omer Rav Idi, he said that Rav Idi said, bar Gershon, he was the son of Gershon. Omer Levi bar Prata. He said in the name of Levi, the son of Prata, Omer Rav Nachum, Omer Rav Biroim, I'll give you 10,000 MDY points if you can repeat these names. I'll say it again. Omar Rav Shemen bar Abba, Omar Rav Idi bar Gershom, Omar Levi bar Prata, Omar Rabbi Nachum, Omar Rabbi Biryam. First I have to know how to say it. Mishum Zokin Echad. Rabbi Yaakov Shemei, and finally, what's his name? Rabbi Yaakov. The Benesi Omru, they said by the Nasi in the Beis Medrash, Beitza b'shishim asuro, b'shishim v'achas mutaris. If you have one bad egg, in order to be able to eat the whole food, even though one bad egg fell into the pot, you need 60 to overcome it. But it's not clear what he's saying. Do you need a total of 60 plus the one bad egg, which is a total of 61? Or do you need a total of 62? You need 61 good eggs and one bad egg to overcome the one bad egg. Let's see inside. Could you decipher this? Could you understand from his words? And the answer is you can't understand. Well, we'll see. Beitza b'shishim asura, b'shishim v'achas mutaris. Omer Rav Zeir Rav Shemen bar Abba, reish atomata b'gvul heter. It seems like you're already coming to be matir, to be mekel. Shari shnei g'doyle ador li pirshus adavar. Two g'doylem, they weren't able to figure this out. Rabbi Yaakov bar Idi Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani, Tarvai Mishmei Rabbi Shmuel Levi Amri. A lot of names here. They said in the name of Rabbi Shmuel Levi, Beitza b'shishim asura b'shishim v'achas mutares. An egg, if you have 60 against it, is no good. If you have 61, it's okay. V'yibaylo, and they asked right away, b'shishim v'achas b'adei dida, is it 61? Is it 61 in addition to the one bad one? So total is 62 eggs. One bad egg, 61 good eggs, which is a pella. We always said batal b'shishim, 1 and 60 on the other side, not 61 on the other side. So to understand what's going on here, and we're basically done, but just to understand that the Shach brings from the Mechaber that there's a svar that say that eggs are different than everything else in the world. Why? Because if you ever go to the store, they sell large eggs and extra large eggs and small eggs. So all eggs are different shapes and different sizes. So if you're going to use 60, you might not be, let's say, the egg that fell in is an extra large egg, and you'll be using some of your eggs that you're using for the 60 are small eggs, so it's not really shishim. So what do they say? They said, and once you get to 60 good ones, add one more for good measure. It's only in eggs. There are those who say no. He also brings in the name of the Rambam, is because an egg is a berry. It's a full item. So because it's a full thing, it's a berry, you need one more. What's an nafkamina? Nafkamina, if your egg falls into many other eggs, then you could use the shachs thing, the original from the mechaber, that because it's eggs and they're all different shapes, add one egg. But what if, according to the mechaber, the egg fell into chalt? No, one egg in a bunch of chalt. Chalt is easy to see that it's 60 times the size of this one egg because it's a different item. It's not eggs. It's not eggs versus egg. It's chalt versus egg. And so all you don't need to do 61, 60. That's the nafkamina between the two svaras, the Rambam and the Mechaber. V'lo pashut. And they didn't come to a conclusion. Umar pashut lo mifshat. And you seem to be saying that it's 60, and all you need is 60. Sorry, that you need 61 to the one. Itmar, Omer Chelbe, Omer Avuna. Beitza b'shishim v'hi asura. If the total is 61 eggs, 60 good, 1 no good. B'shishim v'achas v'hi muteres. But if it's 62 total, in other words, 61 good, 1 no good, it's muter. Fine. So it seems like this was before Chachamim, the Hamaroyim instituted the idea, the concept of batal b'shishim. That's a Rabbanan idea. Came later generation. Somebody wanted Rabbi Gamliel to be mevatel with 45, not 60, 45. So he says, how could I do it if my father wasn't mevatel with 47? He had 47 good eggs, 1 bad egg, and Rabbi didn't do it. Rabbi Gamliel bar Rebbe, the son of Rebbe didn't do it. So how could I do it for 45, which is less? I was like, Rabbi Shimon bar Rebbe. Rabbi Shimon, the son of Rebbe. So it went down now. My father didn't even do 45. The Tanoim didn't do 45. So how could I do 43 kosher and 1 treif? Later on, the institute has to be 60, not 43, not 45, not 47, 60. Or there's a shita even that says 100, which we're going to get to. Oh, I need 30 to be mevatel. 1 in 30. Time is like a shloishim misharina. Omer Rebbe Chanino Guzma. This guy comes and he says, look, he comes to Rebbe Chia, he says, I have 30, let's call them eggs, or 30 times the flesh, the meat in the chon, and 1 bad piece of chaylev. What should I do? So he says, you don't even have 30. In other words, you're wasting my time. Why did you come here to bother me? The share is 60. You're coming here for 30. Come on. Omer Rebbe Barabba, Omer Bishua ben Levi, Bishua ben Kapara. Kol Yisurim Shabbat Torah B'Shishim. Oh, so finally we get to the thing, and this is all from the Sugi Rabbi side. So for the rest of Shas, when we say batal b'shishim, we're going to come back to this daf right over here, Perigid Anosha and Chullin daf Tzadik Ches. This is where the source of all these halachas of Noisim Tam, and this is one of the main sugis. It says over here, 5 lines from the bottom of the Tzadik Ches Amud Aleph. The batal in 60. I just want to show you a Rashi real quickly. Oh, Shkoyach Kobi, I see you took care of my Rashi. Zog Rashi. It's in the middle line of the 3 lines, in the middle of the sentence. Aval heicha de batkina, in other words, in the middle of the line of the middle line. Aval heicha de batkina, where I checked the v'yoav taima, loyam taima lo yibatal. In other words, if you have 60 good, 1 no good, but you could taste the flavor in the 60 good. Says Rashi, batal b'shishin doesn't work here. It only works when I can't taste it. But if I can taste it, it doesn't work. What's the 60 business? It's 100. Okay, we paskin 60 is mevatel 1. But over here we have shita number 2. It's 100. What's pshat? Why does he say 60? He says 100. Says Gemara, we learn it out from the foreleg of a nazir. Let me show you. Person has long hair, and this is based on a real person that I interviewed from Sechtas Nazir. His name is Rav Turjaman. This is exactly what he looks like. When he finishes his Naziris, he has to bring 40 breads. He brings all these breads. Is it 40? That's by Taida. By Nazir, I don't remember anymore. Let's count. Maybe it's 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the license plate. Oh, and he brings a ram, a live ram, yeah? Puts him in the seatbelt. Gishmak. And also chatas and oila. So he has a shlamim chatas and oila. We're going to be talking about the ram. It's part of the process for a boy, if you're new to Daf Yomi, so this is new to you. After he finishes, let's say, the 30-day term or the year term, whatever it is, you have to shave the hair and put it underneath. First, you pour gravy on it. Let's see. And then you burn the hair under the shlomim pot. Then you do tnufa with the zraya, the foreleg of the animal, and the breads, and you do tnufa up, down, right, left, the whole thing. Very nice. Oh, this foreleg, the front hand of an animal, the right side, goes to the kohen. The rest of it goes to the Yisrael. But let's say if you cook this right hand together with the whole body, and it only goes to a kohen, the right hand, that means part of the right hand, the flavor of the right hand, which is a matnas kuhuna, should go to the kohen, went into the entire aisle, went into that whole ram that you saw sitting in the front seat with the seatbelt. The flavor went into everything. And the Torah says it's okay, the Yisrael could eat it. So we must say the pshat is because the whole ram is 60 times more than the foreleg, or 100 times more than foreleg. So that's how I have two shitas that say one says 60s batal bevatal and the other one says 100. We could continue if you want. I'll just explain that part. Why 60 and why 100? Because one counts all the bones in the foreleg. It's very bony, very little meat. And the other one doesn't count the bones, just the meat. So you're just counting meat versus the rest of the body of the animal. The rest of the body is 100 times the amount of meat in the foreleg. The whole bottom part of the foreleg doesn't have any meat at all. It's all bones and sinews. The top has a tiny piece. It's 100. So that's how I learn either 60 or 100. So let's see inside. 2 lines from the bottom. We learn it from the foreleg of the Nazir. The Chsiv, the Lokach HaKohen says Zreya B'Sheila. Now, but the Nazir gives, the Chazah, the Shaykh, but he also gives the Zraya, the foreleg. B'Sheila. What does B'Sheila mean? So B'Sheila, you say B'Sheila means cooked. B'Tanya B'Sheila, Daf Tzadik Chesam Debeis, Ein B'Sheila Elo Shlema. It means that it's whole. So Rashi says, I don't know what language this comes from, but there's a language that the word B'Sheila means whole. Okay, this does have a mahalach. Zog, the sponsors, Adar Global, and Schus, Tamoti, and MDY Shidduch team may all turn the page to a new chapter soon. We should hear Zivugim Bekorov, Encore Healthcare as Schus V'Klal Yisrael, MDY.com/Shidduch, upload a resume and help make Shidduchim happen. I didn't hear from Mati today at all. I'm assuming it's just continuing to grow. Yesterday was 1,500, today's 1,550, let's say. Every day grows a little bit. Baruch Hashem. So here we go. Reb Shimon ben Yochai. We're not even going to finish this small amud because tomorrow is a very small. Reb Shimon ben Yochai Omer, how many were we holding? 46 minutes. We're good. So in 10 minutes, we should be finished. Be'ez Hashem. Reb Shimon ben Yochai Omer, Ein b'sheila eloshin is bashlim ha'ayil. What does b'sheila mean? You cook the foreleg together with the entire ram. The kuli al mebadi ayil mebashelo. Everybody agrees, according to this pshat, that the foreleg is together with the whole animal. Just what's the machlokes marsavar mechatechla v'hoder mebashelo? Do you cut the leg, the foreleg, and then put it into the pot together with the whole goat? Marsavar mebashelo v'hoder mechatechla. We went to a restaurant today in Fort Lauderdale. It's called Lasso. And it's on a farm. The guy lives on a farm. He has horses and animals. And we were watching two goats just go at it, like mamish hit each other's heads over and over, two males. Boom, boom, boom. But I think they were more like brothers playing kind of, because nobody else in the pen. And they're being kind of gentle. They were being thoughtful about it. It was very interesting. But these goats are interesting animals. They're funny. The shaila machlokes is: do you put the whole goat into the pot, and later after you cook it, you cut the foreleg off, or do you cut the foreleg off and then you put the foreleg into the pot together with the whole goat? Here we have a little video if you want to see. First, you put the foreleg in, and then you put the whole goat in, but it's in the same pot. In other words, everybody agrees it's in the same pot. Over here, you're putting the entire, with the forelegs and everything, into the pot. Put your hands in there, make sure they get burnt a little bit from the boiling water. Givaldik. V'boiseima. And another pshat is no. The kula alma mechatech lo v'hodem evashalo. Everybody agrees that first you cut off the foreleg and then you cook it. V'umar sovar. Reb Shimon ben Yochai hold badei ayil mevashalo. In what pot do you cook the foreleg? Together with the goat, with the ram. Umar Saba Bidera Cheres Mavashlo used two different. Here, let's see, we have a video. Shimon ben Yochai says it's in the same pot. Or it's in two separate pots. That's the machlokes. One pot? No, he pauses. No, other pot. Great. So stop right here. This mandama that we just saw, that you put the foreleg in one pot and the rest of the goat in the other pot, we're not going to learn anything from him because there's no bittul over here. The foreleg goes to the kohen and it's cooked in another pot. It's only a raya that we mevatel with 60 or mevatel by 100 if you cook the foreleg together with the goat. And who eats the rest of the goat? Yisrael. But it has a bunch of kohen meat in it. But that's only if you cook it in the same pot. Who says you cook it in the same pot? Well, the first pshat, everybody holds it goes in the same pot. The second pshat, Reb Shimon ben Yochai holds it goes in the same pot, but one on the other man doesn't. So let's see inside. Yumar so everybody ayil mevashlo. Umar so everybody acheres mevashlo. Says Gemara Lishnik, I can learn out this chiddush of bittul baroi according to everybody because you're cooking the kohen's foreleg together with the ram in the same pot. Lishna Basra, I could only learn according to Reb Shimon ben Yochai. So, what's the difference between 60 and 100? Why does this mandama say it's batal in 60 and this mandama says batal in 100? I got to use everything to figure out the bittul baroi. So when you talk about a foreleg, how many forelegs does a typical ram have? 60 in his whole body. Take a look. That's the foreleg you give to the kohen, just straight up, not with the shoulder. Take a look what happens. Boom. The rest of the animal, 60 times that one. So from here I learned the musag of 60 to 1 ratio. I need 60 mutter to 1 aser. The other man, the Omer holds, it's 100. Why? because I'm not using any bones, only the meaty part. Look at that. The blue is on top. The bottom doesn't have any meat at all. The mela, it's 1 to 100. Beautiful. You only use meat to meat. Ask the Gemara, how could I learn to the whole Torah the concept of batal b'shisha and batal b'100 from this roya, from this foreleg? This is a special heter that the Torah says I'm allowed to put the foreleg in the same pot as the whole animal that's going to be eaten by Yisrael. It's a special chiddush. The heter abam klal isur. What does that mean? And what does it come to exclude? Do not learn out from here to the rest of the Torah. Don't get nervous. Don't have a trauma. Min b'mino means meat and meat. It's the same item. Says Rabbi Yehuda, if I cook treif meat with kosher meat, you can have 1,000 times the kosher meat, 1,000 pounds of kosher meat, and 1 pound of non-kosher meat from the same animal, from the cow, let's say. Meat and meat, doesn't matter, meat and meat. It doesn't help. The 1,000 doesn't help. But the chiddush in the Torah over here is that by the zraya it does help. Even though the zraya, the foreleg, is meat, the rest of the ram overcomes it and is mevatel it. How? 60, 100, but it's mevatel it. It's a special chiddush. I want to tell you a murder Vart from Shmulke of Nikolsburg. He says that, I said this in the past, he says that why do we have so much tsaras and galus from Esav, from the Goyim? Because Esav cried, Borcheni gam ani avi. Borcheni gam ani. He cried bitter tears. Why should Yitzchak get all the brachas? Sorry, Yaakov. Why should Yaakov get all the brachas? I also want a bracha. He's crying. So Frexach the Kasha, but Klai Yisrael also cries. We have so many tzaras, we cry. So says the Nikolsburger Rebbe, he says, yeah, but it's the same tears. We have so many tears, more than Esav's tears. All the years, we have millions of tears. And he cried once. Shouldn't it overcome? But min b'min bottle. Tears are tears. But tears are not tears if you do cry differently. If you cry like Esav, you cry, I want to live a better life, then it's the same type of tears. So even 1,000,000 tears are not going to overcome the tears of Esav, that are 10 tears. But if Klai Yisrael cries differently, not that I want a nicer house, I want a nicer car, I wish I wasn't in Golos because I was in Golos and this, that. You cry because you want Kvoid Shem Shamayim, you want to have a better relationship with the Rebbeinu Shalom. Those are different tears. And different tears are mevatel Esav's tears. Ask the Gemara, I don't understand. Isn't this a great raya from here? Rabbi Yehuda says that min b'mino lo yibatel. When you have meat, 1 pound of meat, 1,000 pounds of kosher meat can't overcome it. It's the same type. If it's the same type, it can't. Only different types. Shouldn't Rabbi Yehuda learn from the Zraya that the same type, as long as you have 60 more, it's mevatel? Here, look, a Yisrael could eat a ram, even though it has kohen meat in it. So you see, the Torah is telling you, min b'mino yibatel. Gal Rachmano v'lokach midam haparu midam asar. On Yom Kippur, the Kohen Gadol takes the blood of a bull, a lot of blood. I forgot already how many liters and liters of this blood a bull has, and mixes it with the blood of a goat. The sar, right? The sar that we shecht. One goat goes off the cliff. The second, the partner that got the thing, stays there. The question is, shouldn't the blood of the par be mevatel? The Torah calls it the dama par damasar, as if it's still there. So you see that min b'minoi is loibatel. It doesn't disappear. It's still called damasar. It's still called the blood of the goat. They're not batel. So Rabbi Yehuda has a raya from the blood of Yom Kippur that if it's the same type of item, blood and blood, they don't become batel. And that's why he learns from there, it doesn't become batel. On the other hand, he could learn also from the Zroya v'lachayim, the Zroya and the ram. The Zroya and the ram are the same type, and they are batel. The whole ram, the whole Zroya is batel in the ram. So why does he learn from blood and not learn from the Zroya? He can learn from both. He decided to learn from blood that it's not batel. He should learn from Zroya that it is batel. Ligmar mahai, umay chazed the gamarin mahai, umay chazed the gamarin mahai, ligmar mahai. Why does he learn from blood? He should learn from the Zraya. So the Gemara chidushu, umechidush ligaminon. This idea of Zraya, that you mevatel the chatchila. The Torah tells us, typically speaking, if you have a piece of chaylev, a mamish, a treif, you don't tell somebody put it in the parachon. Don't worry about it. The parachon has 200 times the amount, it'll be bottled. You don't do that. You're not allowed to do that. If it fell in, after the fact, you're allowed to eat it. But you don't tell somebody, you don't tell your wife, put the chaylev in, it's bottled by 200. But the Torah is telling you, put the zroya into the same pot as the aisle, because it's going to be mevatel. So it's a chiddush. And from a chiddush, you don't learn. I'll tell you real quickly, we're running out of time here. But there was two Magid Shurim that the yeshiva had a suffix, which one to hire. They came to Rav Shteiman. One told the Bachram good pshat, real nice pshat. The other one told him big chidushim, a lot of chidushim. This is more for Shamshi Shlafrak. He'll love this vart. But everybody else he'll understand why I'm saying this vart. Everybody else could also have a lot of anah from it. So which one should you take? Says Rav Shteiman. From chidushim you don't learn Torah from. The Magid Shir that gives chidushim, no. The Magid Shir that gives good pshat, he's the Magid Shir that you should take. If you're not going to learn the chidush of min b'minoi bottle, so why are you learning that 60 and 100? We said the whole concept of 60 and 100. Bottle with 60, bottle with 100 comes from the Zraya. Don't learn anything from it. Says Gemara, I'm using it just to be more machmer than right to beruba bottle. Typically speaking, in Minat Torah, 51% is enough. I don't need 60 times the amount. I need 1% more. So I'm making a chumrah and saying that you should use 60 over, so that I could learn from the Zroya Rabboisai. Have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.